and then we can. Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Santa Clara Entrepreneurs Toastmasters Club. Today, this club will be hosting the Humorous Speech Contest. We expect this atmosphere to be one filled with laughter and smiles, and therefore, as your Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster of the evening, I will seek to give some jokes in between to just keep that spirit alive. For the Humorous Speech Contest, we'll be having 3 contestants, namely Toastmaster Ravi, Toastmaster Shardul, and Toastmaster Abhijeet, in the order that I just gave it. What we will do at the end of the speeches, we'll have a 2 minutes for members to decide and evaluate. And that is how we will be judging this speech contest. Now, Shardul will place a link in the chat, and you expected, so we said we have a poll, you expected to vote who is the best speaker, number 1, number 2, and number 3. That is what you will be doing. Let me remind you what you will be looking at. In terms of Humorous Speech Contest, we look at the speech development, the structure, the organization, and the support material. We look at the effectiveness, achievement of purpose, the interest and the reception, the speech value, ideas, logic, original thought, audience response, the attentiveness, the laughter, the interest, the reception, physical, the appearance, the body language, the speaking area, the voice, the flexibility and volume, the manner, the directness, the assurance, the enthusiasm, the appropriateness of that speech, the speech purpose, and the audience correctness, because we're looking at grammar, punctuation, word selection. I have placed one of the contest sheets in the chat for easy reference, so you can always use that. I think I've said everything. The speeches will be 5 to 7 minutes. You are not the timer of the speeches. At the end, I will ask the timer if there are any disqualifications, and we go right ahead with our poll. This is all for now, so we can let our contest begin. And we have our first speaker, who will be Toastmaster Ravi, rolling with the punches. Rolling with the punches. Toastmaster Ravi, the virtual lectern is now yours.
On the day of my marriage, I received an advice that changed the way I look at my life. Things are not going to be smooth. There are going to be ups and downs. Learn to roll with the punches. This metaphor of rolling with the punches made me look at my life like a boxing match. In order to be good at rolling with the punches, me and my wife joined a boxing club. Basically, there are 3 things in boxing: duck, cover, or counter. We started using these metaphors and examples, and every conversation we started having. No matter what my wife says, what she requests or asks, I started saying, "Not my job. Can't do it. Why don't you ask your mom to do it?" These responses changed my life. Whenever I wanted to eat, the kitchen is closed. I wanted to sleep, the bathroom is closed. And when I wanted to drink, the bedroom is closed. No matter what I wanted to do, stuff are getting closed. this made me feel stressful. And you had, as you guys know, when we are in stress, we get filler words. And for some reason, I started using the word M. Yum is like, I started using it with a higher voice, and slowly the volume reduces. Honey, do the dishes. Honey, did you put the trash out? Honey, I'm hungry. Honey, I'm not an expert in meditation, but I think you're looking for the word Om, not Now this failure made me call my mentor again and ask him, I followed your advice, rolling with the punches. After listening to the story, he looked at me and said, you are half right. This is the reason why you got in trouble. Half right? There is nothing like half right. Either you are right or wrong. How can I be half right? You are supposed to look at the life like a boxing match. That's right. Your wife is the boxer. That's also right. But you are the boxing bag. You are not the boxer. You got that part wrong. The entire equation changed. I got it wrong. Rolling with the punches is not punching back. Rolling with the punches is when somebody punches you, you need to roll so that you can dissipate the energy. I learned somewhere that minor changes will take massive effects. So instead of saying, I started saying, The only small change that I added is AH instead of just yum. Honey, I am hungry. Honey, have you done the dishes? Honey, it's so hot today. Now, for some magical reason, the same word, no matter what the circumstances, it started working. If you think about it, just by changing the delivery of is changing its meaning. It's not condemning, not complaining, or not questioning anything. You might think you are questioning in your brain, but the question is not going out. Honey, it's hot. What can I do? Is the wrong answer. But if you just say, it could be a sign of agreeableness. It could be a sign of happiness. Now, the word, if it gets repetitive, all you have to do is add a head nod. Surprise, questioning, agreeability, everything gets covered in this. I think we got it wrong. The universal word is not Om. It's that makes you survive in any situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ravi. Before I move on to the next speaker, I will give you a joke. Listening to Toastmaster Ravi. Knock, knock. This is what I heard. I said, who's there? The person answered, control freak. I said, Con. Okay, now you say, control freak. Who are you? That's the joke. We will now move on to our second speaker, Toastmaster Shardul. If only I knew. If only I knew, Toastmaster Shardul. But your lecture is now yours, Toastmaster Shardul.
Before I begin, just a moment. Frederica. Yep, no, sorry. By show of hands, can you all tell me how many of you have been in a messy situation? In a situation whether you will embarrass or had to do something to rectify it. I see a lot of hands raised up. Nice to know. Now, in all these situations, what is the one-time thing that connects it all? Not the regret, not the embarrassment, but the phrase that we all say after the situation has happened. If only I knew. If only I knew, I could have rectified myself. If only I knew, I would have been better prepared to handle it. If only I knew. Well, just as you guys, there are many situations in my life as well where I had said that phrase. And come to think of it, today I'm going to share that journey. When I was a kid, or the various situations I faced before I learned something. This was an incident that happened quite recently. I was supposed to travel from my city in Eindhoven to another city in Enschede. And that travel required me to completely uproot myself from place A to go to place B. I had booked up a van for myself. And this is a conversation I'm having the day I'm supposed to make my movement. Hello, am I speaking to Mr. Rautmari? Yeah, you are speaking to Rautmari. You're correct. Yeah, sir, this is to inform you that your van isn't going to come. I was like, huh? Who says that on the day of my friend? Sir, we don't know about that, but you have been sufficiently informed. And before I could say anything, the lady switched, put down the phone. Like, what? How am I supposed to move now? I was in a panic situation. I called on friends and colleagues to figure out, okay, how can I do the movement? A friend of mine, Turkish by origin, contacted a guy called Murad. And luckily, Murad came to my house and he was willing to help me out with the movement. Murad came. Assalamu alaikum. And in response, I said, Walaikum assalam, the standard greeting. Now, since Murad was called by a Turkish guy, Murad himself is Turkish, he also assumed, since I greeted him in the proper fashion, I'm also Turkish. So for the next 10 minutes, we were having a conversation, or more likely, he was talking to me in Turkish. I have no idea how to respond to the normal Turkish. And before I could even interrupt him, that Murad, I don't know anything. Murad just didn't pause. Well, after a while, I got the conversation started and he knew that, okay, he has to talk to me in English. Fair enough. The ride was about 4 hours long. So after a brief conversation, Murad started that let's watch a picture while driving, a movie while driving. Like, sure. He played one Bollywood movie, a pretty old one that I liked. Like, yeah, let's watch it. The entire movie turned out to be Turkish. So for the whole 3.5 hours, I am watching a movie in Turkish in a language that I don't even understand and now responding and conversing with him. Thankfully, I knew the movie by heart, so I could still converse. But what I learned that day is I didn't need to know Turkish to actually connect. It was a situation where, okay, if I knew, I would be better prepared. But at least I knew how to take hold of the situation then. Another such instance came when I was in my college, in my junior engineering days. At that time, I was a rebel. I'm not going to attend lectures. I'm not going to go classes. I'm only in for the practical stuff, going for the labs, assignments only. At one point, it was made compulsory for us to actually finish an assignment. Now, I knew where the department was, so I went to the department to get hold of the assignment. I'm copying it off the notice board there, and a lady walks by me. Like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you taking notes? You can take up a snapshot and go, right? Like, yeah, fair advice. So I just took a photo. And then she's like, what are you doing though? I was like, yeah, ma'am, I'm just trying to copy the assignment. You know, I attended the lectures regularly, but that one lecture I missed. And when the assignment was handed. And then she looks over me, stares at me from top to bottom for 2 minutes, and she says, I haven't ever seen you in the class. Who exactly are you? And I was shocked because even I didn't know she was the math teacher whose assignment I was copying. So if only I knew the person I was talking to, I might be a bit better prepared to answer her questions. And one incident happened specifically when I was talking with my girlfriend. She had come in from a trip in the Himalayas and had brought souvenirs for all of us. We were meeting at a common friend's house. And at the end of it, she gave me about an hour of chatting. She gave me that souvenir. And we had some things to eat and all. And then she asked me, Shardul, I gave you a gift. Where's my gift? I was like, what? What's it today? She's like, you tell me. I said, it's not a holiday. It's not a festival. I'm pretty sure it's nothing of importance. And I know for a fact it's not your birthday. If only I knew the date, because it was her birthday. And the anger and violence that I had to face after that wasn't the most easiest to deal with. You know, in these situations of if I only knew, I also learned a bit more about myself as a person. I know that I can handle situations, that in spite of not knowing a language, there's no barrier for us to there's no barrier to connect or even elicit a smile. I know that lying doesn't get me anything because you never know who will judge you at the end of it. And to elicit a laugh of a loved one, you really care and go the extra mile to do it. The mess in all these situations could have been avoided. But if only I knew.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shardul. In listening to your speech, yes, I laughed, but I invented a new word. And I sure you cannot imagine which word is that. If only I knew. These are my words. And therefore you committed the plagiarism. We will now move on to our third humorous speaker, Toastmaster Abhijeet, Story of the Wall. Story of the Wall, Toastmaster Abhijeet. The virtual lecture is now yours.
I want to have a deep connection with my parents. But when they ask me this one question, when are you getting married? A wall comes up. After that, there is no connection. I tried numerous times. This is the story of that wall. Let me show you what happened 2 decades ago. I had started a new job. It had been close to a year. I wanted to see my parents because I had not seen them for 4.5 years. But I was afraid. I was afraid that if I visit my parents, they will try to fix me up. So I came up with a plan. I decided I'm not going to tell them that I am coming to visit them. I told my brother. He came and picked me up from the airport. As soon as we arrived, my mom had a most beaming smile on her face. My dad was very happy for that 1 microsecond. And then suddenly, he was angry. The first question he asked, why didn't you tell us? This was the first time the wall made its appearance. At that moment, I kept quiet. I did not tell him. But in my mind, I said to myself, I was afraid that you would fix me up. I was there in India for just 10 days. But still, in those 10 days, they managed to show me 3 potential brides. Luckily, I escaped unhitched. 2 years after that, my parents came to visit me when I was on the East Coast. Once my dad arrived home, he gave me a beautiful photo of this lady named Rachana. He said, she's a nice lady. Do get in touch with her. But Rachana was in Bangalore. I was on the East Coast. Bangalore, East Coast, not very close by. So I never bothered. But whenever my dad gets angry, he would bring it up. You never follow it up. I introduced you to a good girl, Rachana, and you never contacted her. Again, the wall made its appearance. I did not say anything to him at that moment. But in my mind, I said, I didn't want it, a long distance relationship. 2 years ago, my parents immigrated to California. One morning, we decided to go for a nice walk to Alviso, one of my favorite marina park where we went to run this morning. As soon as we got from the car, the wind just kissed our faces. It was a beautiful sunny day with blue sky. Me and my mom were having a nice chat. Just 2 minutes went by. And my mom asks me, when are you getting married? Again, the wall made its appearance. There was no connection after that. I thought, I am done. There is no way I'm going to have a connection with them. But one fine Sunday afternoon, I was reading this book, Don't Take Your Life Personally, by Ajahn Sumedho. In this book, the Buddha says, we create our own suffering. That is so true. My parents are creating that suffering by asking me that question. When are you getting married? Is that really true? The more I pondered over it, I realized that my parents are shaped by their own experience, and I am shaped by my own experience. I need to have acceptance for both these entities. At the same time, we can coexist in a harmonious way. And the most important thing is I can be me, just having my own strong boundaries. As I started reminding myself of these 3 things, suddenly the wall was disappearing. Now, when my moms ask me, when are you getting married? I just smile and say, whenever the universe plans to. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhijeet. I sat listening to Toastmaster Abhijeet, And I need to ask him a question. Have you heard about claustrophobic astronaut? Toastmaster Abhijeet. Have you heard about that?
No.
And that is what you sounded like today. All you need is just a little space. So you don't want to face the reality. All you need is just a little space, and that is an astronaut. Thanks for 3 great speeches. We'll now ask Toastmaster Shardul to launch the poll, and you will have 2 minutes, timer just 2 minutes, so we can vote.
Even the speakers are voting.
Yeah, just I was about to say that. Heads up, speakers aren't supposed to vote.
Toastmaster Shardul, all I get in, did you drop it in the chat? All I'm getting is the results. Is that?
Yeah, the base who I'm going after the one. So Ramesh, Ramesh, Nagaraj, Frederica, Abdul, then Jihua, if you have Stephen and Anil. Those of you who have those who listened, you should vote in for the speeches.
I still cannot do it.
Well, I see that no additional change in the
Frederica, I can't get in there.
in the results. Just a second, then let me take the result for snapshot of this result. I guess then we stop it at that. Stephen, have you answered? Oh, okay. End pool. And we share results.
Sorry, guys. Did you guys mention my name by any chance?
Yes, I did. And I was going to ask you, did you poll in your result? Did you fill in the this thing, poll?
Oh, I did not. Sorry, because I was talking to a gentleman that helped me find my car key, and I did not listen. But the universe has my back, and I found my car key, so I'm good to go. So I'm able to join the real meeting right now. So I appreciate you guys having patience.
All right, thanks. But well, with that, I guess we already see our results loud and clear. The first, whom will you choose for rank 1? The resounding answer we got is Abhijeet. So kudos to Abhijeet, who has won the first speaker. Who will you choose for rank 2? Well, that's me. So thank you, everyone. And the third speaker and the rank number 3 is Ravi. Congratulations to, that's quite self-serving of me to say, but congratulations to all the participants.
Thank you. 3 great speeches. You're all winners. Congratulations to Toastmaster Abhijeet. You nailed it. Stop building that wall. I love that story.
Though before we conclude with these results, I would like to ask Nagaraj, have we had any disqualification?
No, you were very close, 7 minutes 20 seconds, but
Oh.
you were not here.
Okay.
Ravi was 5 minutes 50, Abhijeet was 5 minutes 40, you were 5 minutes 20.
All right. So everyone is in the clear. So the results stand. Thank you everyone for joining the meeting. Frederica, please. No, go ahead. I happen to. Frederica, we are not able to hear you if you're saying something. All right, there seems to be an issue. Well, Ramesh, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, and we can't hear Pradika.
Okay. Well, thank you for the participants who answered the questions and the poll. And I would actually like to know reviews for all of the three if you can. So that helps Ravi, me, and Abhijeet prepare for the contest up next. Starting off with you, Ramesh, what do you think of the speeches?
Yeah, so I like the speeches. I think Abhijeet was very body language, voice variation, storytelling, role plays. I think those things are strong points of the speech that really made huge impact. Just somewhere back of my mind, I'm recalling something about feedback somebody gave me, Toastmaster, many years ago, about the difference between humorous speeches and entertaining speeches. I was confused about that right from the beginning. I said, isn't the humorous speech entertaining speech, and isn't the entertaining speech humorous? I mean, the only way I knew how to entertain people is by humor. So, but somebody explained me there's a difference. And the difference is, like, say, if you go to movies, you find something very entertaining, but doesn't have to be humorous. It was very like thrilling and dramatic and something like that. I felt like Abhijeet's speech is very entertaining. So it's good. We enjoyed, and that's certainly, I told you a lot of, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But I don't know, if you want to add some humor somewhere more humor in the middle somewhere, I don't know, to make it more stronger, humorous speech contest ready. That's the only feedback I got for Abhijeet. And Shardul, yeah, great. It was nice storytelling and very entertaining again. And again, you may want to look at the humor aspect of it as to how much laugh people generate. That's about it. Great.
And any advice for Ravi?
For Ravi, actually, Ravi's speech is very good. I mean, I've heard this second time, and he has improved a lot. So Ravi, this is a great job you have done. And now it is a lot more logical. I feel like I think I gave feedback last time too. So I think there is not much to add. So Ravi's speech is a good one. I like it. Make it more personal. Involve the audience more. I think that was my feedback last time. Involve the audience more. Ask some rhetorical questions, or have something to say. Wouldn't you? Or how many of you? And at the end say, I can open. Oh, I thought last time you had something about you can open. I did mention about you can open some kind of a consultancy on this topic now that you are so great at it, and you guys will, are invited to come to my stuff. So things like that. So I think that's audience involvement.
Thanks, Ramesh. That would help us actually prepare for the speech somewhere down the line as well. Nagaraj, what was your take on our speeches?
Yeah, all three were good. Abhijeet was, I would say, flowing better because you were able to easily connect to that topic because it was one cohesive topic, right? Getting married and getting pressure from your parents. And his flow and structure was good. In yours, you had 3 stories. Somehow, I missed the second middle one. Maybe if you add humor, as Ramesh said, more into it. For every 3 of you, if that's true, to add more humor into it. And for I think your structure was good. Yeah, you can maybe try more examples with added drama or humor. For Ravi, I would say maybe somehow have the kids in there also at some in the flow, and see how they have influenced your that humor into it. Like before, it was only wife. Now kids also add together. This is more the merrier type, affecting your life, something like that. Maybe humor in that angle as well. But all 3 of you very good. The first time, obviously, listening to this. Yeah.
Thanks, Nagaraj. Does anyone else want to venture an opinion? I see that Mohammed is here, and even Anil. It's
Hey,
been a very long
yes.
time that I've seen you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I completely agree with Ramesh and Nagaraj on that feedback. In the humorous speech contest, so it should be more humor and more punches. That's what definitely is missing. The humor is most likely, when it comes to Ravi, I have seen many other speeches of Ravi humorous. The delivery, the speech, the content, the subject, everything was good, but the punches were missing. The lines saying that, okay, the blaming yourself create more fun to the audience, and that kind of part is missing. That's what I felt from Ravi's speech. And even the narration and everything is good. 3 of you, and even Shardul, Abhijeet, and you guys did tremendous job in terms of the speech wise, the delivery wise, the content wise, and everything. But the punches, the humorous punches, definitely that will create a very big impact. Even Abhijeet, everything is perfectly all right. I don't need to tell that, but I still feel you can add more punches, the humorous punches. So the wall and everything is great, but still for you, you may think it's a humorous punch, but for audience, you may need to do overreact or overdo something. I don't know. I'm just trying to say. So that punches, maybe we need to add more, particularly in the humorous and entertainment. So the definitely we need to distinguish. There should be more line to distinguish between these two. I completely agree with Ramesh on that. Yeah. The more punches, the humor, and that would be add more value to the speeches.
Thank you, Anil. That's a fair advice, and actually something that we can actually incorporate in or enhance the one-liners or the funny aspects that we think out there, and give them more of a drama to make them sound out or pop out more.
Yeah, you need to insult yourself in front of audience. You need to be play like a most dumb fellow to create fun to others. So that's what it feels like humorous, I feel. Because it's all your personal stories. The more you are dumb and you are taking so many stuff on you, blaming yourself, that creates more fun to audience. Sorry to say, but that's what it is, humorous.
Situation of every husband when a wife is angry. And the only thing you can do in that situation is appear a bit more poor and then accept beg for forgiveness. Noted for future reference. Thanks, Anil. Helen, were you able to follow?
Sorry, are you asking me?
Yeah. So were you able to hear us and the speeches today?
Yeah, that's great. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Do you have any feedback for any of us?
I don't have much feedback. I can see that everybody prepared quite well. Besides the context itself, people also prepare body language and with some examples of whiteboard, right? That really helps for the delivery.
Indeed, props is the usage of props is one of the ways of effective speaking, and at least in case of Ravi and me, that was indeed a missing point. In case of Abhijeet, every time he says a wall, he brought out a portrait in front of his face, depicting that wall, and that creates more of a illusion of that story upfront. Indeed, valid point.
Yeah.
Thanks, Deva. And Frederica, I didn't ask you. The one who was taking care of everything. How do you think the speeches were?
I enjoyed every story, but since Abhijeet kept to one story of the wall and explained in detail what created that wall, and according to you, he used that prop. I love Ravi's speech. I love your shadow, and I love Ravi's own, especially that husband-wife thing. I understand that, so it was good. I was laughing, yes, I did. But in terms of yours, you had these little stories, and they were all personal stories for everybody. So it went down well with me, but there must be one winner.
Fair. Fair.
But it was good. It was a good morning for me.
Abdul? Thanks, Frederica. Where is Abdul? Ah, here he is. So, how do you think, Abdul, how were the speeches today? And do you have some things that you like, some things that we could improve on?
Yeah, all are tigers roaring, and it's very enthusiastic to listen. So that's my word.
Thanks, Abdul. Well, the whole point is to make it more interesting. That's the general idea. So okay. So right now the theme, so the structure would be, now that we have the club area, club winners, we then move on to area, after which it would be district, and finally division. So from each, I guess division and then district. Thanks, Frederica. You are on mute, by the way, but thanks. So, and obviously after the district, then to the semifinals, and then the finals. So I hope last time round during one of our sessions, we played a speech of the world's international speech winner, Cyril Junior Dim. The idea is that for us to improve on our speaking, not only do we polish our speeches, not only do we spend some time in crafting the narrative, doing the props and the hand gestures and the emotions, but we also observe what other speakers are doing to improve their speeches. And sometimes, well, it's not plagiarism, but sometimes we get inspired by what their narrative was, what was their hooking points, and then incorporate in ours. And that's the reason that somewhere down the line, I will also be sharing in the meetings some speeches from winners or whatever, some contest speeches that could help each of us improve in a certain aspect, be it in terms of evaluation, be it in terms of narration, be it in terms of pitch delivery. The idea is that we get value for different skills throughout this Santa Clara Entrepreneur Toastmasters journey. And that's the whole point. Learn and grow. Thank you everyone for joining today's meeting and for selecting the winner. Congratulations to Abhijeet. And with that, I hope to see you all 2 weeks from now for another exciting session of Santa Clara Entrepreneur Toastmasters. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.